I'm Dean Nixon. I'm from Master Makeup. Basically, I'm a freelance makeup artist that specialises in the fashion industry. I've been in it for about 15 years. Some of my clients are David Jones, and I do fashion launch with Miranda Kerr. I work with all the L'Oreal hair brands, as well as I do a lot of stuff with Estee Lauder on a global level. I started Master Makeup a few years ago because I found a real need for real women, that there was a real lack of where you guys could come to learn basic makeup skills just for every day. So I started like a quick 2-hour session, one-on-one or in group environment. What I've done today for you is I've put together a little bit of a fact sheet for me. 5 products that I think that you really can't live without if you have nothing else in your makeup kit. Tinted moisturiser, I really love tinted moisturiser, but if you like a more coverage foundation than a medium coverage foundation is okay. One or the other. I think concealer, and it's really funny, like I come across the very rare woman that doesn't have a concealer, and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to change your life. I don't know how anyone lives without concealer. It hides a multitude of sins, and it's just really great. I'm going to show you how to quickly use that today in the right way. Mascara, I think, it's a given. I think I look around 97%, I think the statistic is, of women wear mascara. And then basically a bronzer, bronzing powder, and a lipstick. And the reason I haven't done eyeshadow is because you can really cut a corner with eyeshadow. You can, if you were pushed for time, you could throw a little bronzing powder into the eye. I don't know if I'd ever do it, but I think with those 5 key things, makes the basics and like the default, if you will, of your makeup case. Now what I find is that a lot of women in the morning, you have your default mechanism, I call it, the makeup that you probably do every day. Now a lot of people, and if you're like me, you're messy. I don't know, is anyone, I'm a bit messy. So what I do is I do eyes first, okay? And this is a really interesting thing because often with women, your eyes are the thing that you want to have the most draw to, or you want to think. I get asked, probably 90% of women ask me how to bring out their eyes, how to make their eyes better. So to me, it makes sense to spend the most time on your eyes. So start with them. If you run out of time, you can always stick your foundation on the go. When you get to work, you could do the first thing that you get there. But if you spend your time on your eyes, at least that part of your makeup's done and it's perfect. And then you can move on. Also too, if you're messy like me, you just clean up and foundation across the top. If you do your foundation first and you get that fallout, you can't save it. You've got to take it back off and go again, okay? Also too, I find that with a bronzing thing, work a little backwards in your application, which I'll show you. One of the things that I'm going to do today for you is show you how to really quickly burst your makeup back to life. Have you got makeup on? Can I borrow you, please? What was your name?
Zoe.
Zoe. What I want to do is often, particularly in the, you're professional women, you work all day, and often you have to go out at night, and your makeup will look tired by that stage, And what it is, it's either, if you're an oily skin, it will be a little oily and have moved and shifted a little bit. If you are dry, then your makeup, which is the general thing, your makeup will have just lost its life. It won't have any moisture left. Even if you're wearing a long-lasting formula, it still will look a bit flat. So what you do, if you don't have time to take it all off, you just carry a few things with you. Hydrating moisturiser. And what I mean by hydrating moisturiser is something that is more water-based, that has more water in it. It can have a little oil in it if you're dry, but it's more water. Warm it in your hands and press it straight in to the base. And see how what we've done is added moisture, so it pulls it back up again. And if you're wearing powder, we've separated or liquefied the powder. So then what you can do is grab your foundation, and I keep saying you don't need one of these, you just need one foundation. So grab your foundation and go straight over the top. And it won't grab because the moisture from the moisturiser will have burst it back. So then you just think, and a foundation brush, and I talk about this in my thing as one of my tips, invest in your tools, okay? Buy quality. Okay, and quality doesn't mean just necessarily more expensive, but buy quality. Buy stuff that works for you. If you find that you have a foundation brush, and I live for foundation brushes, is that If you find one that you're struggling with, or you have an eyeshadow brush that you're struggling with, it's probably the quality of it. Get a better quality eyeshadow brush or a better shape, and you'll find that it will work better and it will save you a little bit in that spectrum. I'm not a big sponge fanatic because they get a little dirty really quickly. They absorb all your product, and you can't really wash them. Foundation brushes, they absorb nothing. You wash them once a week, there's not a lot in them to waste. They're more hygienic and they give a better finish in my opinion. Like it's like brushing. So see how I can just pat it through and brush it around like that. So it works like that. Concealer. A lot of people make the mistake with concealing, particularly the eye area, of concealing a block. So you get your concealer brush I think is another great one. You get your concealer and you go one big block. If you have any dark circle or you have like a little, darkness or a bag or something, all you're doing is creating a block of colour and that will still stay, it'll still be there. So what you want to do, particularly with a dark circle, just look up for me, you want to brush it, just into the area that's dark, okay? With something maybe a shade lighter or 2 shades lighter than what you are, okay? Then what that will do is lighten just the dark bit. And it's where the brush comes in handy, it allows you to think, and then you just smooth it out with your finger. And that will push the eye and the darkness up, okay? Then you can add a little bit of powder if you want to. I'm not a big powder person. I tend to say, just look up for me, just add a little bit into the under, and because I've added a base quickly, go a little bit into there, just close for me. And we'll add a little bit into the eye as well. Okay, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm using a powder bronzer and I might get to a powder eyeshadow as well. So the powder just stops it from grabbing. You ever got that thing where it's a little wet and it goes and you can't get rid of the colour? That's what that's for. Then, I think this is one of the best tips that I ever got given. I'll say the best tips I've ever made. I actually got given it. Is work a little backwards, I was saying before. So start at the back of the ear with, this is bronzer, but you could do this with blush, okay? Start at the back of the ear and come down past the tip of the nose. See the angle I get? That will work on any shaped face. So if you want your cheekbones to stand out, that's the way to do it. Also too, and it's really funny because I say this and everyone goes, yeah, if you ever get in the car and you've got a big blob of blush or bronzer up here, it will eliminate that as well because it comes down. So if you're going to get a blob, it's going to be up in the hairline. Just like that, okay? You can then add a little bit of blush if you like, and I'm really into like corals and caramels and stuff like that at the moment. Just into the apple like that. So you just get a really fresh uplift with that. Often by just using a brown eyeliner during the day and going to a black eyeliner at night, there's your day to night. To me, day to night is just a little bit more. You'd wear a little bit more than day. That's not to say that you have to go the whole hog. If you're a really natural makeup person, an eyeshadow and a tiny little bit of eyeliner might be enough for you. But if you want a little bit more, you can just go, this is a grey eyeshadow. It could be a brown, doesn't really matter. Just close for me. I'm going to just press a small amount straight into the eye. Open for me, and it just gives me a little bit of a smoke. If you're blending colours together, I would definitely use a brush here, a good eyeshadow brush. But if you're just in a real hurry, you can often just a little bit of colour into there, and it just gives it a little bit more. You can even add a little bit of eyeliner. Just close for me. And what I do is just a really short stroke. There. And you get that. Thanks, guys.